So today's topic is landscape photography with wide-angle lenses. And I decided to try this lens that I bought a couple of months ago. The Voiceover Color Scope R 20mm f3.5 SL2 for Canon EF mount. Great little lens, very lightweight, very cheap and pretty good optically. Me and a couple of friends went to Saltsjöbaden in southern Stockholm, a very beautiful area. I would almost say it's like a landscape photographer's dream. It has nice beaches and driftwood and nice looking rocks. And yeah, it was a very beautiful morning in the sunrise. And I ran around with this lens and tried to catch some nice landscape shots. I haven't really practiced that much at wide-angle landscape photography, and I wouldn't consider myself that good, but I like practicing on things that I'm not that good at. It makes it the more fun when you finally nail a shot that you're fairly happy with. And one thing I've learned is that you should try to get close to objects like this, like the driftwood, and try to compose an image where you have a foreground, something in the middle, and something in the distance, and like several layers and some leading lines. And a piece of driftwood like this is pretty good for that purpose. One realization that came to me during this morning is that primes are very nice in a lot of situations. I mean, I really love primes. I basically only owned primes, and I like being able to zoom with my feet. And I mean, I sacrifice the flexibility of being able to zoom where I stand, but I gain usually a lot of extra light and also sharper images, and often a more lightweight lens. But in the case of super wide-angle photography, like 24mm or wider, I actually realized that you have a lot to win if you have a zoom lens, because at these angles you cannot really zoom with your feet because the whole perspective changes so much between like 16 and 35mm. So what I actually learned this morning is that it would be a lot greater to have a wide-angle zoom instead of a wide-angle prime as I had this morning. So about the Voiceover 20mm, it's a really nice lens. The focal length is very wide, but not wide enough to make it look weird, which I like. 20mm is a great focal length. The lens is extremely small and lightweight, and the max aperture of f3.5, it's usually enough. I mean, this morning I didn't even need a tripod, even though I was out photographing before the sunrise. But if you compare to what wide-angle zooms are out there, some of them are even faster than this lens. Some of them are at f2.8 and many at f4, and they're also pretty sharp, many of them, and not that much more heavy than this lens. So that kind of makes this Voiceover 20mm f3.5 a lens that isn't really that useful compared to the wide-angle zooms that are out there that you could compare it with. The only real upside with this lens would be maybe that it is cheaper. So I made a quick overview of the lenses that are out there for me as a Sony E-mount shooter. I have the Metabones and the MC11 adapter, so I could use any Canon lens as well as the Sony, of course. And I made this little table, and as you can see, there is one lens on the market that is a lot cheaper than most of the others. Most of them tend to be around 10 to 15,000 Swedish kronor, which is around what is it, like $1,000 or a little more. But the Canon 70-40 is a bit cheaper, and you can find it used very cheaply. But when you look at reviews of this lens, it kind of sucks. The sharpness is quite bad in the corners, even at smaller apertures, so I would not buy that lens. What I'm looking at then is some lenses for Canon mount that are very good, But also the Sony FE 16-35, it is more lightweight, it is smaller than the Canon lenses, and it is around the same price point. So that is probably the lens I will go for as a wide-angle zoom. It is also, of course, very sharp, and it has had great reviews. Everyone seems to love this lens. So what I learned this morning, besides getting some practice in wide-angle landscape photography, is that I want a wide-angle zoom. That's it for this video. Please like it if you did like it, and please subscribe for more photography videos from me. And see you soon again.